right. Hey guys, Answer One. Thanks for joining the Swing Trade Mondays, or make it Swing Trade Tuesday. Really, we had to postpone it because of the holiday, so we're doing it today, Tuesday. Thanks for joining in. I might start out a little differently this time. I might just go over some tickers you guys want to see. We're gonna just talk about a few tickers first. Give another 10, 15 minutes for some people that I believe are on the way. Then I can get into my presentation part of the thing. I know you highly regarded want to see RKT. I can start with that and go over a couple names first. I had some good info I wanted to go over today. I'd rather wait a little bit longer for some more people to join in. But we can go over some stuff while we wait. Okay, so here's RKT. So this is Rocket Company, right? Mortgage? Yeah. Financial stock. So this is a mid-cap, $62 billion company. We'll click through the waves on this one, see if anything stands out, like usual. Here we got the wave one. Looks like we're right on pivot today. Right below pivot. The stock closed at 22.05. Pivot's 23.44. Let's click through these waves. So we're in a M assignment, compression cycle. This stock is usually pretty volatile. Today it was down 5.12%. Brings us right here. Average move brings us down here. These open states. We got a 50% band there. 20, 10. But we're just under the 80% band there. So if you're wanting to play long this, I'm not sure what your strategy is on this one, or what your game plan is rather. If you're trying to play long, continue short. If you want to go long on this, we gotta find where the bottom could be, where it could potentially find some support, make a reversion. So let's keep clicking through. Short, wave 7 daily. Gotcha. Okay. I see. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, so you definitely broke below that purple vector today by a good amount. The K assignment's about done. Got some red printing the standard deviation back towards that golden area down below. Its price is still above that gray area a little bit, that average percent above pivot area right here. So to see something like this to occur next would be ideal, right, for your short thesis. And then have a compression cycle like this. Though you gotta watch that purple vector. If it continues to go sideways or even staircase up higher, it can suggest that price wants to try and meet it back up higher real quick. Yeah, watch the little vector. Yep, watch that. Let's add. I think that's enough days. We'll put the percent bands on. Yeah, it's right at the 50 almost. Just above it. 21.94 is the 80% band. But that's not too much from current price. We're already at 22. So you want something greater than that. So since you're playing short, let's look for where this thing can head to on some other waves. And at the end, I always go to the smaller waves once I click through them all. Wave 10 kind of shows the same picture, same thing. Guess open states there, 20.27. Maybe a great short from current price. Let's bring up 20. Yeah, so it looks like it just performed the average move, which is good, and trying to think down upside's over with, which it most looking can be, right? Because it performed the average move, hit the 20% band. Now it's just rejecting back down. It's a vector. You see the standard deviation's kind of elevated, 2.2. That's more days. I'll take the bands off real quick. Though we didn't get up to here, that gray top of the gray area. Looks like a lot of times we don't. This week or next week in the money, at the money puts. Okay. Yeah, I'm sure the options are probably pricey too, right? Since the stock's so volatile. I haven't seen the options change in a while. We know we made it H36, I think. Not too bad. Okay. Let's add some more days, more data. The options analyzer. Okay, so the wave 20 with 2,000 days, we did meet the top of this gray area. Now we're just projecting to go back lower, which could be good. This right here, price falling down from this point here, suggests that it won't be an outlier like it was here, where it exploded higher. You don't want to get caught in that. Percent bands. Yeah, stopped right at the 50%. January 20s. Okay. Yeah, so not many occurrences at all. It's 111 low odds of all these highs. More odds at L1, obviously. So theoretically, just based off the data we have here, it's most likely going to make an L1 perhaps the 80% band rather than being an outlier and going higher and exploding higher. So that was good. Let's keep clicking through though. Can't wait 30. We broke through that gray area, so now we are an outlier higher by a little bit. We have some open states up there. Earnings, February 26th. Okay. Wave 40, same thing as the wave 20. Stop right there at that gray area. And if we could follow that blue line, that average move lower, it'd be great. To 80% band, 18.85. Be a big move. Let's go wave 50. This stock has a 277.70 PE. So this thing's very overvalued. Huh. Lots of debt. This stock is pretty sensitive to interest rates. It's a financial stock. And right above an average move right there. Let's see if the larger one is or not.
Take care of the baggage.
Hey, VP.
Yeah. So I'm telling you because it's so important.
Hey, VP,
Take
you're
care of the
unmuted.
Take the shit out of it. Do your neti pot if you have it.
Someone's muted.
Okay. Take the allergy tablets twice a day.
Hey guys, what's up?
Hey, Kareem, how you doing?
Long time no see, bro. How you doing, man? You chilling?
Where you been? You've been gone.
Busy
Must
trading,
be partying,
making progress.
partying college.
Yeah, man. College days, but trading's been going well. So
Good.
yeah,
Good to
I've
hear.
been like finding my groove with it.
Nice.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
How about
We're just
you?
getting
How was?
started, really. We're just getting
Huh?
started. You join a good time. We're just getting started.
That's great.
I'm just going over some stats some people want to see. I might even
Awesome. Yeah.
start my actual presentation at 8. I don't know. So.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, take your time, man. I just wanted to dip in when I could because I've been kind of MIA for like 2 weeks.
Yeah. What the hell?
Yeah. Sorry, bro.
All good.
I
All
missed you
good.
guys. Don't worry, I missed you guys.
Yeah. Well, thanks for joining in. I think everyone else is at dinner or something, right? So while they mess around, we're working overtime over here,
Yeah,
going through the fractal.
because we actually
So-
wanted more than them, you know, and then that's why I'm gonna make a bunch of money.
Theoretically, that's the
Yeah,
plan.
now we just stealing. Yeah, I'm low key
Right.
proud of my part right now.
Yeah,
So I'll be quiet for a bit until I finish, but yeah.
all good, man. All good. Thanks for joining.
Yeah.
Let's see. Highly regarded. We do have this open state 27.5 right there. It's something to be cautious about. Like I showed in the smaller waves, it can have the potential to make an outlier move higher on a 20 or a 10, so it can hit that open state there. But it may not, right? So what was the open state 27.5, which is like right in here, this imprint band. Like, 1 second. So here's open state on that wave 80. So if you're short, let's say you already entered short, your stop loss would absolutely be no further than this gray area, because if it breaks beyond that, it's going to get explosive and continue to be an outlier to the upside. So I'll mark this for you. I can take a picture. Excuse me. Put entry. I'm sorry. Stop loss, not entry. 1 second. This is bugging out a little bit. Okay. So if you're in it already, let's just assume you're already in puts. Your stop loss shouldn't be any further than the stock is what's the 21.5's not right. Hold on. But this level. If I zoom out, the line will move and stuff, but I'm just trying to show you a stop loss would be great there, anywhere in that gray area. Because if it goes any further higher, it'll probably hit the open state there. And look something like this over here. Be an outlier higher. So that's one thing to be cautious about. Let's go back to let's go to 90 this time. Yeah, there's another open state 27.84. This is kind of a while out though. You know, we could have another 5% down day right tomorrow or the next day, and then we'll still be able to hit this open state. This is a wave 90, obviously it's gonna be longer term. If you look, when we got H1 here, May 2025. Okay, September 2025. So, I mean, it took months from this H1 to close this open state here. So, yeah, you're thinking short term. We'll look at the wave 20, 60 minute, that type of stuff in a minute. I'm just gonna click through the higher time frames because I like to see what's the flow of this stock ultimately. Where's the current going with this? And it's flowing higher towards that 26.79 on this wave 100 right here. And anytime price is going for open state like this on a wave 100, sometimes they'll have those days where like it starts down pretty big and then it rebounds and does that multiple times. You'll see that a lot because it's ultimately flow into a higher open state in the higher wave like this, wave 100. In order for price to get to these open states, it has to perform an outlier in the smaller waves. So you'll know when to get out or not, or if you need to or not. Well, this makes sense. We most likely have more interest rates coming, more interest rate cuts coming on the horizon with the new Fed chair coming in March or whatever it is. And that'll help a mortgage company like this. So they can do more business with lower interest rates. All looks good on paper. So, but let's look at the smaller time frames. Wave 20, 60 minute. Too bad you're not in it already. It's hard to enter when it's already compressed like this. It almost performed the average move lower. Look at the 2030. At the 2% band. I mean, if we open tomorrow at the same price, do you want to enter short right here? When on 20, 30 minute, we're near the 2% band. I most likely won it. But that's okay. You can give it a day or two maybe for entry. And there we go. Guy has the Friday splice. Okay. So there's more occurrences of a L2 than there is H1. Is this just a Friday? What's the day splice on it, guy? Is it Tuesday, Friday?
No, that's just a Friday splice.
Just a Friday. Gotcha.
Just a Friday splice, and I think it looks. Can't see it now because it's too small for me. 63% chance of printing an L2 by Friday.
Right. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. There's more occurrences there, 4 occurrences than the H1, which has 2 occurrences.
And that's only 200 days to load too. So I just did the standard.
Right. Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. He is the splice guy now. Thanks, guy. Appreciate it. Highly regarded. Check that out, please. It might be hard to enter puts right away now. The splice master. There you go. That's the word I was looking for. All right, let's keep clicking through waves, times. Look at that compression there. This thing must have failed every reversion up higher today. It just kept going down, staircase down. Which when we see good compression like that, we usually see some kind of sharp expansion, which we're kind of starting to right there. And then it'll be an 80% band right in there. Right there. Right to the 80% band. So careful of that. That's a 25 minute. So this is like right away. Maybe it opens a little higher tomorrow. Let's go through 10, 15 minute. Same thing, compression, expansion. There'll be an 80% band up in there. Right there, 22.44. I mean, this stock moves a lot. It moves pretty quickly. Might have to give it a day or two. Why is this? Hold on a second. This is kind of. My cursor's like stuck. All right. Wave 760 minute. I tell you, in smaller time frames, it's pretty low but low pivot. Make it hard for entry right away. But there's always the possibility of gaps down tomorrow, right? And you really can't answer. $10.30. Guy, can you post a fractal chart of the splice, that same splice date, but just a fractal chart? Be amazing. Wave 1. I'm not seeing an obvious entry though. I'll tell you that. Not seeing anything too obvious. I said the only obvious thing is the long-term decide with that wave 100 that it's ultimately going to flow higher to that 27.5 open state, and there's a 26.79 and other ones close to those numbers. There it is. Friday's splice. right in the pivot. You guys see what it does first. The price is right in the pivot, or right below it. All right. Wave 7,000. Yeah, but like I said, watch that vector. See what price, how it behaves with that vector. See how the vector behaves. Well, I don't know the obvious answer of entry for this in terms of puts. I think the compression cycle could continue as long as it doesn't become an outlier, become explosive to upside on the wave 7, the 10, the 20. Let me add. Okay. There's some other wave paths. Yeah, I don't have too much to say more about that one though. Is there anything else like me to check, guys, before I go over my stuff that I pointed out? Almost 8 o'clock. Not many more people are joining in, so I got some other stuff I can go over if you guys have nothing else you want to see real quick. Palantir. All right. All right. So I'm guessing the stock ended down today by at least a couple percent, right? Let's pull up a chart on the computer. All right, a little bit, 1.4% lower. Okay. Interesting. On the wave 1, it's a little bit below that gray area. Average percent move from pivot. So it's below the 80% and the 50% band already. Almost to 20%. All right. So besides those open states, there's some other open states it's obviously targeting on the other waves. Let's go through those. Okay. The wave 3, this M assignment, about 5 days ago. So it just started the M assignment, the compression cycle. A lot of times the price can find support there, this gray area. This gray area is almost getting extreme. So it will stop there and then try to retest purple vector there. A lot of times price does that. Or if it doesn't, it can go much lower. Something like that. 1 second. Yeah. Would you be trying to go long or short on this one? I tell you, I wouldn't be comfortable. You're going long? Okay. I wouldn't be too comfortable entering long right now. I'll tell you that. This M assignment just started. Let me put some imprint band supports on. Okay. Let's see what the price does there. It can break much lower. So price has to rebound, revise higher, go for that pearl vector. If it doesn't, it's going much lower. Perform that average move right there, and down to the 20% band, even to 10%. Depends how weak it gets. Look at the wave 10. It's M a little bit. It was red a little bit, turned green, then red again from the golden zone. That doesn't look good. Try to make it H1 there, and it failed. And it fell from purple vector and pivot, and back lower right there. That to me does not look good for long at all. Put the options analyzer on. More occurrences of L3 than H1, H2. Right down to 8% band. So since that happened, it almost had a H1 and it fell down. That's kind of more rare, right? Because it was looking great, it was looking positive, but then immediately flipped red. So lowers the ultimate. It has the more strength is the ultimate direction here. I would think to get down to that gray area, at the bottom of the gray area. You see there's some green dots there means support. There's buying there at 150. The stock's at 168. But it's never a good idea to go long when you see that red moving out of the golden zone like that, with that angle, with that velocity. But I want to see how low this thing can go. I want to see where's it flowing to. Be double bottom there, 10% band. We were assigned to M 18 days ago. Not much above the golden zone yet. That 159.86 to 50% band. It's an area that I could go to lower next. Yeah, that doesn't look great at all. It's kind of consolidating, then immediately had an M assignment. Let's put 1,000 days on. It'll most likely perform that average move lower, that with that blue line. Given that it tried to consolidate above pivot and immediately failed. Let's look at the options analyzer. Yeah, 3 occurrences of L4 and it's at L2. So L3, then L4. So 2 more new lows. This could definitely get it to that average move lower, that blue line. The M just assigned today. M was assigned today, right? Or is it? We have to zoom in. Could have been 16th actually. It's hard to tell. Yeah, 16th. So Friday. So compression cycle is just getting started on this one. Yeah. Okay, let's look at this. Price has fought Pearl Vector for a while now. And now it's finally losing strength. We'll get an L1 here. Yeah. Yeah, it looks like L1's on multiple high time frames. So don't be long on Palantir anytime soon. Say that. I mean, it has a PE of 394, which is insane. Severely overvalued, overbought. So I'll be looking for L1 on that one soon. Let's see. All right. It's just about 5 minutes from 8 o'clock Eastern time, so I'll get started sharing some of the things I prepared for today. I'll start with AWK. This is a water utility company. I think I shared this before in one of the study sessions. The main physical catalyst on this is the data centers going up, needing water to cool them. Yeah, I share this one. And then water need to be purified, clean, all that stuff, because the radiation from the data centers, all that. So it's a lot of money in supplying and keeping water clean. Lots of money in that. And this is the biggest player in that, biggest stock, biggest open company. So let's look through this. There's a few things I like on this one. Potential swing about like a month out, maybe. No, that's not the wave 10. No. Let's see. This is interesting. The wave 30. Been in the golden zone for some time. We got a K assignment. If we can leave that golden zone with green standard deviation continuing, make some higher highs and close the open state there. The average move brings us way above that gray area. Similar with wave 40. Okay, wave 50. I think this caught my eye. We recently made a H2, and look what price did. It came down, hit the purple vector for support, like I talked about in the last meeting we had. Price often comes down and hits purple vector after making an H1 or 2 above pivot on the higher time frames. And now I'm looking for something like entry from somewhere in there and go for the open state at 137.99. And specifically that open state because I think on the wave 100, you'll see why. So we gotta find a good entry somewhere in there. Above purple vector, obviously. And then play that open state. And we really want to catch that K taken off in that golden area, standard deviation. So I can go to options and analyze real quick. Have to add more days actually. So it goes immediately from H2 to H4. Definitely get H3. But it doesn't. It's not shown on there. The H3 could be that 137.99 open state. The biggest thing is I gotta see how standard deviation acts from the golden area. If it leaves as green still, that's great. It could definitely have the fuel to hit the open state that I pointed out there. Go to wave 100. Or was it? I think it was 200 actually. Yeah. So open state I just talked about was 137.99. The purple vector is at 138.97. And like I say a lot, the price likes to try to hit that purple vector again after a staircase is up like that and goes sideways. So maybe price there's the fuel to hit that purple vector again and then go lower, make a L1. So this could be a quick play too. I'm just trying to play the open state 137.99, which also would most likely price would hit this 138.97, only $1 away. Another reason why I picked this stock because it's kind of like a low-key stock, It's a mid-cap, $26 billion company, but it doesn't directly follow QQ or SPY. So if Q's inspired down our 2% or whatever, there's continued volatility in the market. This doesn't directly be affected by that. So I guess in the overall goal today is looking for things to hide out in while volatility ensues in this market right now with the chaos going on politically around the world. So that was the main goal for today. I want to stay away from all high valuation tech stocks, I'll tell you that. Unless something really good happens and the market expands higher, has like a K sign or whatever. So that's a potential there. There's not too much to this one I was going to explain, but that's about it. Another one I wanted to talk about is EWZ. I brought this up on the last Sunday meeting. It's the Brazil ETF, large cap stocks. It's an ETF that holds NU, New Bank. It's a financial, it's like a fintech kind of bank in Brazil. Pretty big company. I think Warren Buffett has money invested in this one. That's the main holding. About 12% of the ETF is in that stock. And then there's Val, which is a steel, iron ore stock, is the second biggest holding. Another big holding is Petrobras, the oil gas company. So all three of those companies are in this ETF. That's mostly what's comprised of. This ETF has a low valuation, 11 PE, so pretty undervalued valuation-wise. And this thing was up today. Let me look this up on my computer. It was up 1.36% today, while Qs and SPY, all that were down, offering a place to hide, right? As long as commodities don't crash anytime soon, this should do well. Brazil's, and just South America in general, is rich in resources, obviously. So let's click through this a little bit. I want to see if we can have explosive rally beyond this gray area and potentially hit these open states there, like here. We're in the golden zone there. Let's go to wave 20. Didn't perform the average move just yet, so I can definitely do that. Wave 30 looks like it's just taking off above pivot. Average move brings us up to here. There's an open state that really stood out to me. I think it's on a higher wave that this thing is flowing to. 34.92. Yeah, 34.80. So there's a lot of open states just below 35 that I'm seeing for this one. So that's where I'm thinking it's heading. It's pretty close. Stock's at 33.62. Not too far away. There's a lot of open interest in the options in this one. Yeah, 34.80 again. Put 2,000 days on. Okay. There's a higher open state somewhere. I might have to add more days. Okay, that's way up there. 44. Okay, 39.27. It's been open since 2021. We've been above the gray area for a while. We actually corrected and then came back up. So anytime price does that, it's most likely going to stay an outlier, continue staircasing higher, and hit any open states that are next. Like we saw here. Look at price did initially, broke out above gray area, found some resistance there, compressed, briefly fell below, then expanded back higher. It's kind of the same pattern right there, or right now. So here, oh, draw a line. So here, compressed, and then we expanded but much higher. Same thing with here, compress a bit, and then we're gonna expand much higher to 39.27. That's one thing with this. I mean, this ETF is excuse to do really well because since the price of commodities are up so high, Brazil is very rich in resources, like I said. So something like that is what I'm expecting, but this is like longer term. Let's see. This is 2021, 04 to 06, so 2 months it took the expansion phase right there from gray to create this open state. So let's say by March we get here. February, March, 39.27. Like maybe it's like March 19th or something is the main date. I have to look at it. I would say by March that can close there. And then wave 200, yeah, same thing. 37.28, so even lower, open state. So this may remain a good place to hide out in the coming months, regardless of what our market does, if it goes higher or if it stays volatile or pulls back. This ETF does its own thing. So making this a potential good place to hide it out. And that's basically what I had for this stock. Now I'll go over to the next one. This is Key Bank. I personally use this bank. Just a few open states that stood out to me that I'll go over. Type this in. Okay, the stock's at 21.09. Let's go wave 7. Okay, so we know banks and financials continue to do better while rates are cut. And we're most likely going to see that in the horizon with the new Fed chair in the coming months. Looks like we kind of bottomed out. We hit this gray area briefly and came way back up and reclaimed purple vector. So that's good. For the currencies, more currencies at H1 than L6, we're at L5. So that points to upside. Be nice to see a K be a sign there. Yep, close to 52-week highs, yeah. A lot of times, once it's making 52-week highs, it could continue to make 52-week highs, right? Since it has the energy. It's been an outlier on some waves, like the wave 10 here. That's okay, because it could continue to rally on. And we have open state 25.71. And today, you can see this candle here. We definitely had some strength today, right? Price trying to decide if it wants to make an L1 or continue higher at the 5% band. But there's a few ways I wanted to show that could suggest that we go higher from here. Let's look at, so wave 50, there's some stacked open states here, a couple open states. So price has to decide if it wants to try to close those or it'll end up following that blue line lower, make an L1 in the wave 50. And the longer it goes sideways, the sharper the next move. So price is making up its mind right now. And today's strength is interesting. It could point to more upside. Okay. I think what the earnings was today, wasn't it? They announced repurchases of $200 million of their stock, right? So why would we go short on this when they're repurchasing their stock? We had some more days. Okay, so there's a close open state, 22.73. Price is at 21.09. So today's strength, even though it closed a little bit lower, it was much lower to begin with, but then it came back up higher. I can suggest that price is trying to close the open state first, right? At 22.73. That's what I'm seeing. 10% being there. It's been open since 2024. Another open state at wave 100, 23. So just about $2 away from current price. I'm sure the options chain is pretty liquid. It's a $23 billion company. But it might be monthly options. I've not looked at it in a while. I can't remember. Monthly options, gotcha. Makes sense. Some of the smaller financial names are all like that. And this is the thing here too. Price has to make up its mind here too, what it wants to do. Either revise from that gray area, make an L1 towards the 8% band, or it can perform the average move higher. And there's an open state there, 29.58. Right, the 50% band. Okay. March 22 is about 0.48 cents. Okay, so cheap premiums, right? 27.58. So this is something that could either break out or it'll make an L1. But I noticed it was getting pretty close to some open states. Like I showed, the 22.73. Yeah, right there. Yeah, outperformed the market today. That's good. Earnings seems pretty good. I'm reading it right now. And guides 7% revenue growth, 8 to 10% net interest income growth, 1.2 billion in buybacks. This stock has a forward PE of 9.89. It's pretty good. It's pretty low. My guess from what we're looking at, from what I'm seeing right now, is that's going to continue to make some more 52-week highs. So that's what I'm thinking for this one. All right. I'll go to the next one now. Just Kroger, AR. That stock has underperformed for a while, but I think it's starting to make a turnaround. I think the wave 20 was the wave I wanted to show you guys. It was interesting. Yeah. It's been compressing for a while. Got down to the golden zone, the standard deviation. And now price is going for H1, a high above pivot. Just because the trade here would be going for the H1 from current price. Although shares are up 3.3% past week. Perhaps if we're going to play long on this one, find a short pullback. The calls. We're at L24. Obviously, more odds and occurrences of a H1 to occur rather than more lows. So that's good. I don't think anything else stood out too much. But the wave 20, 30, maybe the 40. Okay, it's more lag behind. The 10, it's been an expansion cycle a little bit. Yeah, open state 64.99. Stock's at 63.15. But I guess the main trade on this, the main strategy on this one would be going for the H1 and the wave 20. I think the wave 100 shows, yeah, we're just getting started in rebounding back higher. This stock's been beaten up for a little bit. Yeah. Just trying to find its bottom there. Going for H1 on the higher waves too, wave 200. This is a nice 4P of 12, so it's a little bit undervalued in the future, so that's good. Though tariffs could definitely hurt this business, right? As we know. But we've been compressing for so long. Look how many candles we have on our pivot. It's due for that H1. The odds show it in the options analyzer. It's coming at some point. So that'd be the confluence of the calls on this one. But we have to find a good entry first. Let's go wave 20, 60 minute. Yeah, this thing has a pullback a little bit. If it can pull back to the 8% band, might be a great area for entry. Yeah. Like I said, it's up 3.3% past week. Day over day upside, so pull back a tiny bit. And yeah. So that's about it for this one, Kroger. What else do I have? Let's give it that. Over American, whatever that one. Met I'll talk about last. UPS. I mentioned this one before. I think this has more room to the upside. Start with the highest wave, the 200. The stock's obviously been beaten down for a while, and now it's starting to make a turnaround, or it has been for a couple months. So if you look at the wave 200, this thing's ultimately flown higher in longer time frames, or just a longer time frame in general. A thing. So look at the wave 50, 150. It's at an H2. Need to see a little pullback there for entry long. There's not many open states there. I'm gonna keep clicking through this. Okay. All right, so the wave 100, we have 122 open state. Stocks at, was it 109? This stocks at 106.50. We got open state 122. And since we have the open state right there and it's already above that gray area, kind of has an excuse to continue to be an outlier because look at the wave 200. It's just showing prices getting started to the upside. So that's good. The lower interest rates helps the stock. If we look at the smaller time frames, wave 50 is 116.64, $10 away. That's where price is currently flowing to. This stock was only down 0.35% today. I think this stock has already been through the worst. So a down day like today won't affect UPS that much, making this potentially a good place to hide out while the overvalued tech names and all the other stuff gets hammered. Yeah, wave 30, 115. The wave 20, we got 112. So this stock is a bunch of open states right above the price. Yeah, it'd be great to see if we can break above that gray area and continue higher and close all those open states. Right, if we did something like this, that would get us maybe that H1 on wave 200. So that's potential. There's L1 appears on wave 7. That's okay. But this would be a further out trade. And by that, I mean a couple months out. This stock would rally off the more interest rates being cut by the new Fed chair starting in March. So spring date, March, April, even further out like May. Be a great date for this one. That's what I'm thinking. If rates, oh, 1 second. If rates are continue to be, which leaves consumers with less payments on their credit card, leaving them more room to spend money. And then once they spend more like online, there's more parcels to be delivered and pass through UPS and stuff like that. It's a domino effect kind of thing. Indirectly, UPS business gets better, but interest rates cut. So 122, maybe look at a strikeout in March. Look for like a 120 call. Be a pretty big move. Or you do something safe like a 115. Get at 116.64 open state. Yeah, I believe this continues to stay strong. It closes open states there. Then we'll soon get a wave. We'll soon get an H1, a wave 200. That's what I'm thinking for this one. And all right, I'll go. That's all the ones I'm thinking about for options. And there's 2 stocks that I'm thinking for shares, or one's ETF rather. It's Nail. It's the home builder ETF. Is 3 times leveraged to the upside. I think it's the wave 100 I want to look at. Rate cuts obviously help the home builders, helps affordability with home buyers. So there's more sales. Yeah, I can check out some more stuff after I show this real quick. Yeah, thank you for joining in. Okay, so the 200. This is what I wanted to show, I believe. Yeah. So you'd own shares of this one. The options chain on this is kind of whack, really pricey, and not really liquid, not too much of interest or value. But every time I broke price below this gray area, it's going back higher. And with more interest rate cuts coming, this thing will continue to do better. This ETF holds a basket of home builder stocks, but it's leveraged, 3 times leverage. So a lot of times this thing could be up 10, 15, 20% a day. Stock's at 63.5. It was down 7% today. This is something I'm eyeing for going long in shares and hold this into spring. And then we get like H1 in the 200 by spring. That'd be my play on this one. Shares been beaten down for a while. Wave 50 got above pivot. It's at H6. Yeah, K recently assigned. Maybe a good buying opportunity soon here. And yeah, so that's what I got for that one. Yeah, I can go over Costco real quick. I'll add that. All right. I know the stock has been expanding higher recently. Yeah, look at that. Day over day, pretty uniform upside. Look at that. It's a pretty good outlier move. There's still some open states there. 984, 992. The stock's at about 970, right? Then got 1,005, 1,045. I mean, this stock has been going down month over month for a while, for multiple months. And now that it's found some strength to expand higher, it can continue. It's been lagging for ever since June, it looks like. Kind of reminds me of Eli Lilly. A while back was compressing month over month for half a year, and then it had a huge spike higher. So the longer the compression, the sharper expansion, and now we're experiencing that sharp expansion right now. So these open states are very doable. Yeah, so it met some resistance there. It wicked to that gray, top of the gray area. You look in the past, a lot of times it has stopped around there. Got 2 open states there. And then there's some occurrences of going much higher as we look back in time. It looks like when this stock is going, it's going. It takes off. That's what it's doing now. Look at that in the wave 50, get 997 open state. And the average move brings us right there. It's at 997. The stock's at 964.26. So that's what it looks like it's targeting, right? Slowing towards that, 997. Got 991.85. Similar to wave 50. Okay, but the wave 80 shows that close open state there. Got to the top of that gray line, the gray area briefly. Came back down a little bit. But look at the wave 90 here. And price is outperforming, and it's doing that to go for the H1. Let's see, this thing's up about 12% a month. 932.82. Well, definitely looks like that as it has a strength to go for the H1. Wave 90, wave 100. Though, given all it's up 12% in the month, it's like, where do you enter, right? That's the next question. We know the direction. It's ultimately flowing higher. But we obviously we would probably go long this one. It was up today a little bit, tiny bit. So that's good. But we have to find where a good entry would be for this one. We could enter now, and then the following days it could be down a couple percent. But bigger picture, longer term, we're going for that H1. So that's good. Huh. That's a big expansion higher. Yeah, it came down to 2% band bottom there, and now it's going back up. Go for the H1. But yeah, if you could see a couple percent pullback in this one, and then we can revisit the fractal on it, it'd be a great long for going into next month, for like the next 30 days. And definitely get an H1 by then. It should, just given its strength that it currently possesses. Yeah. Go for H1. Yeah, so I'd stay long this name, but trying to enter it, especially calls, is the tricky part. I mean, look at the wave 20, 60 minute, got a 73 high. It's definitely low odds, right? Yeah, 17% odds. You gotta look for a little bit of compression on this one. And then you can slowly enter it for upside. That's what I'm thinking for this. Okay. Yeah. You gotta wait for these to correct. The wave 10s, the wave 7, 20, 60 minutes, 30
Okay.
minutes. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, could you throw the
Oh,
odd
step
bands
one.
on that?
Yeah, this current wave right here.
Yeah, throw the odds bands.
Cool. Yeah, right here.
And then maybe slightly up the DTO. Let's just check it just in case.
Yeah, it's a huge outlier here. Like I said, up 12% in the past 3 days. Up pretty big. 52 high, 4% odds. Yeah, I mean, you're not going to enter tomorrow long on this one. I'll tell you that. But look for a little compression on this. It's hard to say what it'll come down to. I mean, we got 80% band 952 on the wave 10, 60 minute. Wave 20, 60 minute 950. Wave 7, 60 minute 954. So it seems like 950 to 954, 80% band if we can find some support down there. Because I don't see it going down past that. I mean, it has so much strength on the longer side of things that I don't expect it to go down that much in the percent bands. This thing is the excuse to stay strong, hit those open states that it's getting near. So yeah, that's what I'd say for this one. Look for low compression on this one. Day over day. And then you can go long on this one month over month. Or might get there quicker. Go to daily again. Yeah, we'll go back to see with 200 days loaded. Wave 10, that standard deviation's at extreme. 2.6. Gotta pull back a little bit, but 987, wave 50. It's a great target for this one. Given that the average move puts us right there, that open state. I like seeing that. So yeah, it looks bullish week over week, month over month, but look for some small compression for entry. That's what I'll say for this. Is there any others I can go over for you guys real quick while we're at it? Trade desk, TTD. I haven't seen this in a while. Nike, all right. All right. This thing has been going down for some time, so it appears. Yeah, if you want to go long this, we have to wait for some signs that it's gonna revise, go back higher. We don't want to catch the falling knife, right? Because if weakness continues, we're already at this gray area right here. If it continues lower, it's getting explosive and going much lower. You don't want to get caught in longs, especially options, given that scenario. Yeah, this reminds me of PayPal, which looked good for upside, but then immediately flipped into weakness, unexpected outlier weakness. And it fell even lower, and I'll show that in a minute. It reminds me of this right here because this is what PayPal did on a similar wave. Made a brief H1 or 2, whatever that is, and came all the way back down and hit this gray area. So that's what I'm thinking here. The downside is going to continue for TTD until we hit that, the edge of that gray area there. And you see those green dots with that support there. And it's at the 50% band, yeah. Shares on this one, okay. Well, we can look at the higher time frames. But I'm expecting this to go a little bit lower, yeah. Price got above pull vector, pressing
with that
more.
DBO bottom too.
Yeah. Yeah. This is, let me look this up. I think this has a bad valuation. Maybe not. And it's trading 39 times earnings, kind of a lot. Hit a 52-week low as Bank of America Securities maintains underperform rating and cuts price target from 49 to 40 amid rising tariff and macro concerns. And that's not good. So this is communication services, advertising agency type of stock. Is there any reason physically why you want to go long this? I can give you a better long stock to go on, but I mean, it could turn around at some point. It does not look good. Look at that. 36.33.
Not 36,
yeah,
26.
36 what?
It's not 36.
Oh, 26. Oh, you're right. Yep. My bad. 26, thanks. 26.33. Double bottom, wave 40. With a 2% band there. Maybe it bottoms there. But I'll tell you, we'd be catching the falling knife on this right now. Going long on shares. This is a $16 billion company. Okay. Interesting. Lots of double bottoms. Yeah. I feel like when you see lots of double bottoms on the higher time frames, below current price, it's going for that. It's targeting that. Even though we got a lot of support there with the green dots, that green line. When it breaks below that, it gets pretty explosive. Because it broke through all that support. But, yeah, you don't want to catch the falling knife in these ones. They underperform the market. There's some stocks you can go long that will do well, even if the market continues to go lower, and I'll share those in a minute. But I don't know. I would advise you to stay away from this one. I'm not seeing anything great in the real world or in the fractal side for this, unless something totally unexpected and great happens to this name. I'll look at Nike as requested real quick, and then I can tell you some names to go long on shares. You can do that. Okay, so I know Tim Cook, Apple CEO, bought some shares of Nike. And I think he did that because he knows the tariffs could be taken off from Supreme Court decision soon here. That's a possibility that would help Nike's business a lot. I think the Nike CEO bought some own shares too. So that's encouraging, right? Wave 7, L1, Emma signed. You bought some too? Gotcha. All right. Well, thanks for joining in, guy. All right. Wave 10. Yeah, let's make up his mind here. It's either going to fall lower, make it L1, or find some strength and continue higher and target those open states higher. All right. Nothing obvious there, though. Oh, let's go to 20 real quick. Yeah, that looks not that great. Anytime it makes a brief high like that and immediately breaks below, pivot, not a great sign, but a lot of times it price can fight pivot for a while. Make a high above it, make a high below it, and then until it finds a direction to go long, either upside or short. I think Nike is still trying to figure out what it's trying to target for the higher time frame of things, whether it wants to go lower or revise higher. And it's really gonna rely on the physical world and news regarding tariffs, I would think. And we're getting close to that. But something can happen and like it can go revise higher, right? Something else can happen. And we can see clues of that in the fractal system. Wave 40, we're above purple vector. Price compressing a little bit. It wants to make an H1 at some point. Okay. Interesting. I'll keep clicking through this. All right, similar to wave 50, wave 40. Need a golden zone. If we get a KS sign, that'd be great for upside. Lots of open states there. The lower side. All right. So these are probably all going to look the same. The wave 80 through 100, 150. All right. Yeah, as you can see, it's been compressed here for a long time. It's been underperforming the market by a lot for a while. So it just needs a little good news, and this thing can go on a pretty sharp expansion cycle. It's the upside. You know, if your entry is here, price can either continue to be weak and hit that open state lower, 52.28, or price remains above pearl vector, above the new pivot, and then we got some open states there. So one of those scenarios will occur. 8% band, 69.78. Let's look at the options analyzer. Yeah, let's add some more days real quick, actually. Okay. Well, still, I mean, 325 low was very low odds of occurring. It's very beaten down. Oh. Oh my gosh. Well, Nike crashed my fractal. 1 second, I'll have to get the fractal back up. Let's see, is my screen been shared? No. Okay, 1 second, I'll send back in the fractal. It didn't want to load Nike. Maybe it's a bad sign. It's a sign that not to go long Nike, right? 1 second. Let's sign back in. All right. It's okay. I know the fractal password, like my phone password, so I'm back in it now. All right. Where's my? All right, I'll share my screen again. All right. I don't know why that happened, but it did. Let's go back to that high wave. 200. One moment. All right. Let's zoom in. Okay. Well, look at that now. There's those green dots there. It's showing support. Right there, 60.68, about 61. We see shares come down to 61, find support there, then go much higher. Let's do this. Okay. So you're in shares now. Stuck at 63.63. I would say continue to stay long the stock, though if more weakness shows up and price heads down to 61 and starts breaking below 61, and then I'd probably get out of it. That would show much more downside. 52.28 be the next open state.
Yeah.
And potentially even lower.
Yeah, try the wave 50.
Yep. That too.
Yeah.
So.
And that open state, the double bottom on the wave 50 aligns with the open state on the higher time frame. Or not on the higher time frame, higher wavelength.
Thanks for pointing that out, Lem. Yeah, that's a good thing to remember. Always look for open states or numbers that repeat. Entry is 58. Okay, that's pretty good. That's good entry. Yeah, don't rush for the exit now. See what it does for a little bit. You have a good entry. But just know if weakness continues or greatens, we could see that these open states here are pretty probable at 20%, 57. So in the coming weeks, you'll either be back down to your entry or you'll be much higher. If stock comes back down to your entry or a little bit lower, it might be the sign to get out or maybe buy puts against your shares. That's what I would think. There's another open state even lower, 45 down there. That's the actual average move down here. So, but if we get a K signed here and the standard deviation enters and leaves the golden area, that can definitely give us the fuel to get the H1 here. So you'll know in the coming weeks. I think statistically it's going to show us the H1 is more likely to happen, right? Look at the L67 we're at compared to H1. 4 occurrences there, 1 occurrence of that low. So much more odds and occurrences of H1 coming next. So that's what I'd say for that one. And the tariffs coming off from the Supreme Court would be amazing for that stock. Maybe rallied double digits. Who knows?
You look at the energy sector at all?
What part of energy? Like oil and gas or nuclear?
I was thinking nuclear.
What would you like to look at? Utilities, energy?
Yeah, utilities.
Gotcha. What we can do first is I'll go to a linear chart, click through some things like I usually do, and then we can go take it to a fractal. Let me change my screen. I'll show you guys my routine. So usually I'll start out in Yahoo Finance or CNBC, NASDAQ.com, whatever you want to use to look at the linear chart stuff. So you say utilities, I think NEE, Next Era Energy. It's a big stock, 173 billion. They're supporting data centers. So you can see my screen, right? Okay, there we go. It's an $83 stock. They're trading 26.5 times earnings, so not too bad. But this stock has a deal with Meta, I believe, and some other big tech companies. I had to look into it, but big company. So the big companies are obviously going to get the deals first from the big tech stocks for energy. So that's one stock. You can look at PCG, Pacific Gas, and Electric. It's a utility company. Trading at 12.82 times earnings, so pretty low, pretty good valuation. $33 billion stock. It's been lagging for the past year, past couple of years. I think we reviewed that one before. So there was AES, utilities company. This thing's been beaten down for a while. 9 times earnings, about 10 billion market cap. It's a small cap. I think a few people actually hold stock on this in this Discord. What else we got? I think XLU is the utility ETF. So instead of picking an individual stock, you can just go to ETF, XLU. That's a good one. This has pretty big options, I believe. $21 billion ETF in net assets, so it's pretty safe. And then we got Dominion Energy, kind of an older name, I think. Utility company. Let's see. And then what else we got? FE, First Energy is one. That's been climbing for a while. And then this is kind of utility nuclear, CEG, newer stock of Washington, D.C., $107 billion company. I've done a lot of research of this in the past. They have a lot of customers, hundreds of thousands, maybe more in the Washington, D.C. area and beyond. And then this is kind of more tying to nuclear, VST, Vistra. These stocks are more volatile than the other ones I previously just showed. $53 billion company. Nancy Pelosi made a bunch of money in this one. She had a lot of money in this, I think, last year, right before nuclear got pretty popular. Then there's GEV. This is mostly nuclear, but also kind of utility based. Is there any utilities you're looking at, Lem, that you want to go over?
I'm checking. I've been looking at Oklo a little bit.
Yeah, so Oklo's nuclear energy. Yeah, we can view this in a fractal for sure. There might be something high in this one.
Yeah.
There's also SMR.
There's something on the Wave 50 daily. Potentially like another minus 30%. There's that DBL bottom. I love my DBL bottoms.
Oh, yeah. So more downside potentially, you're saying.
Yeah.
This stock down 5% today.
But just looking at these past runs too, they've been very extreme, especially if you're looking at like the higher time frames since they've gotten a lot more interest, especially with like the whole AI craze and everything. A lot of people have been like putting speculative investments into like power concerns.
Right. Yeah, nuclear is just getting started. I mean, once their power grid goes down, these stocks will actually go nuclear. They'll go much higher.
Yeah.
So, this is another ETF, NLR, uranium and nuclear ETF. Kind of similar to URA. It's a uranium ETF. Uranium's obviously involved in nuclear energy. Powers these nuclear plants.
Have you checked NNE?
NNE, yeah. There's also like UUUU, Energy Fuels. There's that one. There's LEU. I know that one. This is kind of expensive stock. Probably expensive options chain on it too. What was I gonna say? Just a couple more. Oh yeah, CCJ right here. Lots of open interest in this one. This thing's been insane. It's already up 26% year to date. Yeah, insane. But let's view something on the fractal low. Oklo looks interesting. I can view that. All right. Wave 7. Let me change my screen. All right. This is something you own shares in. It's so volatile. It's, like buy a stock. I mean, the entry for options is very detrimental. Get entering at the right time. Some compression there. The wave 20. I'll tell you, it kind of ties into energy is the coal stocks, which is METC. That's something I'm really confident on actually. And just the coal stocks in general. I'll show that in a minute. I have a whole report on that I'm gonna post in the step analysis section soon here. This is the wave 30. You got some compression here, but still below the pearl vector here.
Yeah.
Here for H1.
And there's double bottoms on There's double bottoms
bottom.
on almost every single wavelength. Like, just keep on cycling. You're
Gotcha.
gonna keep seeing them. Like on the 50, the 50's pretty. The 50's over at 57, 67. So likely we're going to crush a bit more. But
Gotcha.
like looking at these, at least for the past couple, for the past two up cycles that we have seen recently, it's been ridiculous. So
Mm-hmm.
if we can catch a bottom and we see anything that's somewhat similar, like the targets on the wave 50 are going for like a 600% move on the underlying, which would be ridiculous.
Right. Right.
So maybe we
Yeah,
can
there was
get
a lot of bottoms.
on seeing if we can get back above pivot, but I wouldn't really want to long here at all. I would definitely wait for it to come down even further. On the macro
Mhm.
trend, we're probably red on almost everything.
Gotcha. The wave 100 is on load.
The wave 100 is funky. I'll tell you that. It's funky.
Yeah, some stocks are like that.
Yeah. It's well, if you look at the wave 100, basically everything from like October of 2024 and on, we're above pivot. Maybe if I drop the DTL.
Well, it's a newer company, newly IPO'd within the past few years.
Yeah, like if you look at like 2020, it was just like a long period of compression, it appears.
Yeah, the stock wasn't doing much at all at that time. All of a sudden, it has all these big moves, so it has more data to look at. All of a sudden, I gotta show this BTC.
Does anybody know how well does nuclear work with correlation to like oil? Are they inverse or unrelated?
Well, I don't think they don't trade a certain way together, but obviously as nuclear comes in as it's the trendy thing to do in terms of supporting these data centers, natural gas demand goes down, so the earnings of these natural gas companies go down.
Yeah, but the thing is that they're running these data centers off natural gas. That's what they're doing.
Right now.
Right now, at least, yeah. We have to see what's happening with
Yeah.
that,
There'll be a
because
transition.
it's not only just that, like making nuclear reactors is a risky business. Not
Right.
because of like the whole uranium and like people having to deal with the radiation hazard, but also it's like for companies to make nuclear reactors, it's a huge financial burden.
Right. Right. And if rates go higher for some reason, that could kill a lot of companies as their borrowing costs go up for operation, which wouldn't be good. A lot of these nuclear stocks are small caps, mid caps, borrowing a lot of money to do these operations like NNE, SMR, Oklo. So I agree. Natural gas should be the way to power them. There's abundance of it in this country. I know by the Great Lakes, there's like a couple trillion cubic feet of it. So, and then there's definitely tons in Texas and all down south. So, and now we have Venezuela with all that gas and oil. So it's like we have all this natural gas. Yeah, I totally agree. You should power it that way. I think Trump's also floating the idea of coal. That's why I'm looking at METC. This is very obvious in this one. Yeah, we'll hang out for a little bit, but as users in the chat, if you guys want to see anything else before we kind of wrap this up for the recording, for the sake of this, let me know. In the meantime, I'll continue to show this. Huh, look at that. Came way back down. Standard deviation came way down. But yeah, feel free to stay on, guys. I'll be on for a little bit. That looks good. Wave 50. I did a lot of research in this company. I can show if there's no other stocks you guys want to see. I can start presenting that. I talk about the stock a lot. I think I alerted this to a lot of people. I think a few people bought this in shares, which is great. I made a trade off this. Made 25% on shares over a week. And I think this has much more upside. Awesome. Yeah, you're one that owns it. Great. You know, there's only $17.99. Great fill. Great entry. I'm happy you entered that. There's only about 2 stocks I'm really confident going long on. That's this one, METC, and then GH, the medical AI oncology company that I talked about before. Those are the only 2 stocks that I'd go heavily long on with my personal funds. And I think after I show you some information I found, you guys will add more to this name, especially. Let me do that. We know the Fractal looks good on wave 50, but let's look at the stuff I found regarding this one. Let's see, I'm gonna share my Discord screen. One moment, because I posted this in the analysis chat a little bit ago. Okay. You can see my screen, right? On the Discord. So Ramaco announced that's METC, Ramaco Resources. It's a $1 billion stock. Small, very small caps. They announced a 100 million stock repurchase plan, December 23rd. So that's, of course, it's about 10% of the market cap. So that's amazing. Then I did some reading here. The company with Key Bank, like we viewed before a little bit ago, Key is this ticker symbol. Help them give a business loan basically of 500 million to expand their operations. So that's great. And then over here it says other banking partners include Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs. So if those big firms are behind funding this company, you know this company, even though it's a small $1 billion company, it's most likely it has something great going on, right? For those big banks to be involved with giving loans. This Brook mine that they own. A couple years ago, they bought it for, I think it was like $2 million. And recently, they discovered it has potentially like $37 billion worth of rare earth minerals in it. And this is a coal company. They bought the mine for mining coal. And they discovered all these rare earth elements. As it says down here, I'll zoom in. In 2023, the company announced that a major deposit of primary magnetic rare earths and critical minerals was discovered at its mine near Sheridan, Wyoming. So that's it's pretty convincing that the business can get a lot better, right? Regarding how important rare earths are right now, given what's going on with the world politically. You know, China banning a lot of rare earth elements from being exported out of their country. And now our country has to find its own, along with many other countries, you know, not be able to buy from China anymore. Ramaco is one of the only miners of heavy magnetic rare earth elements in the United States, crucial for national defense and economic prosperity. It's helping lead a revolution in domestic rare earth development. So this company was focused on coal, but now they have this mine they bought a couple years ago that has all this rare earth elements in it. So you know that this company will get a bunch of investment from the banks, as we're seeing. They just got the 500 million approved that they can tap into if they need it for operations. and their earnings is going to go up a lot as they are now going to be mining these rare earth elements, which is pretty amazing. Pretty amazing find. The Brook mine is the first domestic rare earth element and critical mineral mine in over 70 years and will be initially focused on the vertically integrated production of commercial oxides. So this is a big deal. I'll go to the next picture, kind of explains it better. Yeah, the 2 million coal mine that might hold a 37 billion treasure. They're talking about rare earths in Wyoming. And then this find is the biggest rare earth element find in our country since 1952. And Ramaco and Met-C owns the property of where these rare earths are, that giant deposit. So they really they struck gold, right? As you can see my screen here, some institutional ownership here is BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street, Renaissance Technologies, Morgan Stanley. I mean, if all these big companies, the biggest companies in the world, are involved in a small stock, what do you think is going to happen here? They all own almost 5% for a reason, right? If this company was about to go bankrupt or had financial trouble or wasn't going to do well in the future, why would every big firm in the world, the biggest firms in the world that own everything, own shares of the stock, right? So that's good. And the stock also has a 28.6% short float on it. So there's a lot of people shorting this stock, which is interesting because this stock going higher could cause a short squeeze, right? They can get even more explosive. So that was pretty interesting. And yeah, in the United States, the government's gonna most likely do deals with this company to invest in them, like they invested in NP, Intel, right? So yeah, a lot could happen here. I'm